welcome back to the Wrestling Rundown with the Royal Rumble over now. It's time for Smackdown to start building towards Elimination Chamber, which is in just less than 2 weeks now.
It is very close.
And then quickly followed by that, we're going to be having WrestleMania. So, lots of stuff happening on SmackDown. Right off the bat, we found out all 6 competitors in the Elimination Chamber because AJ was demanding to both Daniel and Shane that he needed a one-on-one rematch for the championship against John Cena.
Is it me or does it feel like this is the first time in quite a while we've seen Shane and Daniel Bryan both at the same time, the same place on a SmackDown?
Yes, it has been quite a while since both of them have been there. He's... Obviously, AJ wants a one-on-one rematch. I'm sure he'll get one somewhere down the line. But the next time that the championship will be on the line will be inside Elimination Chamber as John Cena defends against AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, and The Miz.
It's a pretty good lineup of opponents.
Yeah.
Especially, and and right off the bat, though, Cena's got a huge advantage going into Elimination Chamber because the only other person who's been participant in the Elimination Chamber is The Miz.
And he's only been in it once. And Cena's been in like 4 or 5 times at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Cena definitely has...
Cena's basically Elimination Chamber champion.
Yeah. He is the veteran as far as this match is concerned. But we had, not only was AJ upset that he wasn't going to get his one-on-one rematch, but he ended up being in the same place at the same time with Dean Ambrose. And Ambrose is like, the last time you and I faced each other, the only reason you beat me was because Ellsworth was there. And now that he's out of the picture, maybe we have some unfinished business.
Call him the chinless weasel.
And so then Shane's like, you know what? That's actually a pretty good main event. So, for the main event, we got AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose.
I ain't gonna complain.
And then we started the night off with Cena coming out talking about being a 16-time champion and how instead of celebrating his win, he's going to do exactly what he loves doing, and that is continue to defend it inside Elimination Chamber, then going on to WrestleMania and defending it there.
That's a weird thing to love to do, to wrestle inside Elimination Chamber.
Some people are just gluttons for punishment, man. I mean, John Cena's dating Nikki Bella, so... You don't know what kind of weird shit.
Elimination Chamber sounds like a walk in the park, actually.
He's got an Elimination Chamber in his bedroom. And him and Nikki are in that thing all the time.
Alright then.
Don't quote me on that. But while Cena was in the ring, he would be confronted by not only a competitor he'll face in the Elimination Chamber in Bray Wyatt, but also his potential WrestleMania opponent, Randy Orton, after Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble. And they had, their message was pretty cut and dry. It's, you will be stepping inside Elimination Chamber, you'll lose the championship. If there's even a chance that you do walk out of Elimination Chamber, you will lose that championship at WrestleMania. One way or another, the Wyatt family is taking that championship.
Yeah, Randy, I think, had a bit of a slip-up in his portion of the promo.
How so?
But caught himself in a fashion that he made a threat that sounded way more extreme than I think he anticipated.
Okay.
Because when he was saying his portion, he says, if somehow you manage to walk out of the Elimination Chamber alive with the WWE Championship.
Like, hey, we're going to kill you in the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah. And then he went alive, and he went, we're not actually going to kill him with the championship.
Yeah, there you go. Good
Got
job,
it.
Randy. But they weren't going to wait until Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania. They decided they were going to go right down to the ring and beat up John Cena. But they were stopped, or they were at least, the odds were evened by Luke Harper.
Who magically Wyatt teleported to the ring.
Because he has those powers. He decided he's going to be on the side of John Cena. And Shane's like, you know what? This is a good idea for an opening contest, so we're going to do that as a tag team.
We're going to Teddy Long this shit.
And the most interesting part, the match itself was really good. It's fun to watch. It was actually kind of refreshing to see Cena and Orton going against each other for the first time in 2 years, I think. It's been a while. But it was interesting that Bray Wyatt still had some sort of influence over Luke Harper.
Yeah.
He kept stopping him from helping Cena. The only thing he couldn't stop him from doing was attacking Randy Orton.
Yeah.
It was the only thing that Luke was like so focused on doing was like, I need to kill Randy Orton, but I can't help John Cena because Bray Wyatt won't let me.
Yeah.
Bray just kept getting this stare, and like Luke would just stop. He'd even jump off the apron, and he wouldn't.
He couldn't cross Bray's path either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic that they had within this tag team match. But in the end, we finally got, Luke Harper was getting his chance to go after Randy Orton, and then in the midst of it was trying to go after Bray as well, and he was trying to, he kept trying to hit the Sister Abigail, and then he was almost getting hit with the Sister Abigail, and then he did get hit with the Sister Abigail, and then Cena tried to take advantage by hitting the AA on Bray Wyatt, but instead Orton was able to pull Wyatt off of his shoulders, hit an RKO, and Orton pinned John Cena in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not looking too good for
proving
John.
Randy Orton's RKO is more effective than any of AJ Styles' finishers.
We also found out that Cena and Orton will go one-on-one next week on Smackdown.
Yes, because that's the way you get us excited for them facing each other at WrestleMania.
Well, it's a non-title match, though. So.
Is by having them wrestle each other 2 months before WrestleMania.
At least it's not the week of WrestleMania.
No, but be careful what you wish for.
I trust SmackDown.
I'm starting not to at this point.
We had some ladies action.
We're off to a rocky middle, SmackDown.
Nah, we're alright. We started. We had some ladies action. Our first was Carmella taking on Delilah Dawson,
aka Delilah Doom.
Yeah. Carmella had some help from
James the woman beater Ellsworth.
James Durst.
Chernobyl Durst.
Fred Ellsworth. Ew.
That's an ugly sounding name.
Yeah, tripping up Delilah, and then Delilah got locked in the Code of Silence, and Carmella picked up the win. We also had a slightly smaller tag team match from our 6-woman tag on the pre-show. We had Naomi and Becky Lynch teaming up to take on Alexa Bliss and Mickie James.
Yeah.
I like these pairings that we're getting now.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see some more singles matches between just
Absolutely.
Mickie and Becky. I'm excited to see what Naomi and Alexa can do. But the tag team match was fun, and I like the team of Alexa and Mickie as well. The unit that they have is really good.
Yeah.
But
they have a couple good units. What about the team at Glowfire though?
Yeah, no, Glowfire. They
came with a built-in name.
Yeah, they named themselves before the match started. They knew what they were going in for, and it was a good tag team match, and Naomi once again had the number of the women's champion. Yeah. And despite Mickie James being out there, Naomi picked up the win over Alexa Bliss. So. It's not looking too good for the women's champion.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss needs to potentially figure out how to keep Naomi from hitting that split-legged moonsault.
Yeah, I think it'll do her better to not have anyone else at ringside, because the only reason Naomi got the advantage this time was because Becky speared Mickie through the ropes, and they went tumbling out to the ring, and Alexa's yelling like, "What are you doing?" And then she turned around into an enziguri, and then got the split leg moonsault. So, despite
work on the legs, Alexa.
Despite how good of an alliance it is to have Mickie James on your side, it's obviously proving to be slightly of a slight deterrent for Alexa.
Mickey is distracting. Let's just put it at that.
That she is. And then we also had a little backstage situation between Natty and Nikki that was more of a headache for Daniel Bryan than he wanted it to be, but he decided to put them in a one-on-one match at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, and anything for Daniel Bryan that is a headache is more of a headache than he wants it to be. Because he's got a bad history of headaches.
I see what you did there. And then we also had a really quick match where Dolph Ziggler beat Kalisto again, tried to attack him, almost pulled his mask off, but then Kalisto was saved by Apollo Crews. So hopefully now we can stop with the Ziggler-Kalisto and move directly into Apollo Crews versus Dolph Ziggler.
That'd be nice.
Hopefully.
Again, it seemed a little bit of a raw move there, SmackDown.
A little bit. And then American...
Especially, here's a little gripe about it.
Okay.
Dolph Ziggler and Kalisto.
Right.
It's hard to think of two guys who are more athletically gifted and talented on the SmackDown brand than Dolph Ziggler and Kalisto, and they gave them like 2.5 minutes.
They could put on a killer 10 to 15 minute match. You could let them go as long as they want, and they could keep it interesting. But yeah, to have it be the quick 2 minutes, Dolph Ziggler winning the same way he's won the last 2 times. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it's better than them not being on TV.
True. And and like I said, hopefully this is the last time, and now we can just move directly into, we can get one more week of, just aggressive promos, and then have the first match be at Elimination Chamber.
That'd be
Get
nice.
Dolph Ziggler versus Apollo Crews. So, but we'll see. Also, what could potentially be another cool thing for Elimination Chamber is American Alpha decided no one's been challenging us. We beat the Wyatts twice. No one stepped up.
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering where American Alpha have they've just been kind of hanging out.
Well, and they even said it we've held these titles for a month and no one has stepped up to us. No one's tried to challenge us. Nothing. So we're gonna go out there. We're gonna put out an open challenge, and we'll face whoever decides to come out.
Which was everyone.
Yeah. It was the Usos, the
Vaudevillains?
Ascension, the Vaudevillains, the Fashion Police, Heath Slater and Rhino. And then we just had a big old tag team brawl. And every tag team just fought each other. We had 7 referees trying to calm everything down.
I just think they were trying to get tag team title matches. Maybe,
yeah. We were trying to have 7 different tag team title matches all at one time, even though there's only 1 tag team champions.
No, I think some of the referees were trying to get in on the open challenge.
We're having a referee tag team.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that could be interesting because there's 6 teams. There's 6 spots in an Elimination Chamber, and Smackdown just happens to be heading to Elimination Chamber. We've only done it once. Let's do it again. Plus, we have some really cool tag teams. I'd really like to see, just how aggressive the Ascension already are.
Yeah, to me, Ascension was the standout team in the first tag team Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
Because they hucked Kalisto to the ceiling.
They did indeed. And then, and now you've got people like Fandango and Tyler Breeze.
Who will probably get eliminated really fast.
Yes. You have Rhino.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so, let's definitely do Tag Team Elimination Chamber. Because, yes.
Because we can.
Yes, we can. And that leads us to our main event, AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose, with The Miz at commentary.
Yeah, and then partway through, Baron Corbin also at commentary.
Yeah, Styles and Ambrose, they just went one speed for this whole match.
Yep.
They did not slow the fuck down. It was just constant back and forth, out of the ring, into the ring, around the ring, over to the commentary table, back into the ring. It was...
You know what
it was insane.
They saw the Ziggler-Kalisto bet and went, let's go out and entertain the crowd because they're giving us more time.
This is what it should have been. I mean, and it's hard to really pull spots from the match because we've seen Styles and Ambrose. That was
a feud.
That was the running feud for the championship before Styles was the champion for as long as he was. So, I mean, it's nothing new, but it was just it was a nice, exciting, just continuous battle between the two. And then you did have the fact that Miz and Corbin were just jaw-jacking each other on commentary. Eventually, Corbin gets over and just walks right up to Miz. They start punching each other in the face.
Yeah, Miz trying to get in the ring.
Yeah,
and Corbin's holding on to him, and then that distracts the referee because Ambrose is about to win the match.
Yeah, Ambrose tries to pin Styles, and the referee's not doing anything. And Ambrose is like, "Son of a bitch!"
And he dives on him
and knocks Baron Corbin over the table.
Almost kills Morrow.
And
then Miz got all butt hurt because Ambrose saved him apparently, and Ambrose did a little juke move on the Miz and then threw him into the barricade.
Yep. And then Ambrose ends up getting into the ring and gets hit with a Styles clash. Styles is starting to walk away. Miz is like, "You know what, Ambrose? You're a dick for saving me from Baron Corbin. Someone hit you with a skull-crushing finale." Then Baron Corbin got in, hit the Miz, hit Ambrose, and Styles just got to watch as he walked away. So, yeah, we've got some quick build and lots of really good tension going into the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That did about the best they could for it being one of 2 weeks between now and the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, trying to build up tension for such a match that needs that's a feud ender. That's Hell in a Cell type.
Which I realized in hindsight, this is why Raw got so many matches at the Royal Rumble. It's because SmackDown knew that only in 2 weeks they would have a chance to blow off some of their feuds.
Oh, okay. The fact that Raw has... Raw's got to wait till the beginning of March for Fastlane.
Yeah.
So,
which is going to be more... I think Fastlane for them is going to be more set up to WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
This is going to be blowing off the pre-WrestleMania feuds.
Pre-Royal Rumble feuds.
Yeah, or, ending the feuds...
Yeah.
Before starting the new ones for Mania.
Yeah, gotcha.
With we will see Cruz versus Ziggler probably. We will see probably another one-on-one match between Alexa Bliss and Naomi or Mickie James and Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I can imagine that we'll get all three of this. We'll probably get all three of our singles ladies matches, which
one of them will be on the pre-show.
Yeah, I think Natty Nikki will be on the pre-show. And then we'll get Mickey and Becky.
I think Mickey and Becky will be the pre-show.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think it should be, but I have no say in this. So, that was SmackDown. Let's talk about a nice quick 205 Live.
Yeah.
With some more, a little bit of what happened on both the Royal Rumble and Monday Night Raw.
A lot of, look at Neville, he's a thing now.
Neville was all over this show just because the main event is him and Noam Dar taking on Cedric Alexander and Jack Gallagher. But we open up with Tony Nese, who we saw, not necessarily having the best interview time with Austin Aries on Monday Night Raw. He defeated Lince Dorado, stopping a top rope move, kind of shoving Lince out onto his stomach, and then hitting the running Nese in the corner. He decided he wanted to beat up Lince a little bit more, and then he was actually run off by T.J. Perkins.
Yeah, which T.J. Perkins was the one this whole bad attitude Tony Nese running knee to the face in the corner thing started with.
Yeah, that started just a couple weeks ago. And then, apparently after the altercation they had on Monday Night Raw, Rich Swann has some sort of issue with his foot.
Yeah,
potential broken, sprain, whatever it was. He's wearing a big old boot, and he says that he's he didn't feel it until
Afterwards.
until after the whole altercation happened. So for the time being, he's gonna eventually he's gonna get his rematch for the Cruiserweight Championship. But he's gonna enjoy watching Jack Gallagher beat up Neville, and then Neville got right into Swan's face, and
he talked some mad shit and then pushed him down.
Yeah.
Because that's his place. Is down.
Yeah. Before the king. And Swan,
not up, down, just down.
I mean, he could be he might be up, down soon, possibly. So yeah, Neville still showing Swan that he has no respect for him and that he needs to bow to the king. I wonder how long Swan's going to be out for.
Hopefully not too long.
Wonder what the severity of the injury is.
Then we had a super exciting anticipated moment for 205 Live.
What's that?
The debut of Akira Tozawa on 205 Live.
We did indeed, and he went against a guy named
Aaron Solo. With Brian Kendrick at commentary.
Yeah, because Kendrick doesn't have Tajiri to continue his thing, so he's going to go after the other Japanese guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Apparently, Brian Kendrick has something against Japanese guys.
I guess.
Whatever.
But you might have something against not the Brian Kendrick.
Maybe. Tozawa being Tozawa.
Kind of rude.
A little bit.
With them strikes and that snap German suplex.
Yeah. No, I love that he set up like he was going to do something big off the top rope, and then Solo ran at him, so he just did a little tumble off, and then just right into the snap German. He's just gonna drop the fucker on his head.
Yeah.
And then we got Austin Aries back in the ring, asking Akira Tozawa if he understood the things that were coming out of his mouth.
Rush Hour reference. And
then Tozawa just spoke Japanese, and Aries is like, "Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself." And
Akira Tozawa, ladies and gentlemen.
Tozawa can speak a little bit of English. He doesn't speak a whole lot of it. So you could see there was just he was loving this moment where he's just Japanese words. It's just
I think it's hilarious. This whole Austin Aries doing the post-match interviews.
Yeah.
If this keeps up, it's gonna be a mainstay of something to talk about with the Cruiserweight division.
It's gonna be Jericho level on 205 Live of just this thing that we're gonna have Austin Aries do. It's gonna be probably talk of the town, especially after his talking trash to Tony Nese, and now this little thing with Tozawa. There's so many other people that he can just talk trash about, and just it's gonna be fun to watch. So yeah, we have Tozawa on 205 Live, and now we're getting ready for our main event. Which
there's also a little vignette for Grand Metalik.
I must have missed that. I didn't see that.
Probably. Yeah, it wasn't very long, but it was a short little. He's gonna show up soon.
Thank God.
Sort of vignette.
I've been waiting for Grand Metalik to show up on 205 Live. He's only had one match since the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yep.
Or no, did he have one on NXT?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so it was just the Fatal 4-Way on Raw to see who would face T.J. Perkins at Night of Champions.
Yerp.
Man, it's been a while. So yeah, I'm glad Grand Metalik is going to be showing up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
But
big metal guy.
Grand Metalik. Noam Dar is super excited about teaming up with Neville in this match.
Yeah, he's here's the guy who's almost as hard to understand his promos as mine.
And Neville couldn't care less.
Yeah, he called Alicia Fox baggage.
Yeah, she didn't like that very much.
No, most women don't.
And especially crazy Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
But Noam Dar did leave her in the back. Came out for the tag team match, and boy, was this just beat the crap out of Jack Gallagher day.
You know what it was? That's the rest of the Cruiserweight division being like, "Oh yeah, you got to be in the Rumble, huh? Here's what we think. Here's what we think."
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a good day to be Jack Gallagher. He couldn't get to Cedric Alexander to save his life, and it took a very long while for him to do that. And at the time that he finally did, Noam Dar was trying to tag in Neville, but Noam Dar had kept blind tagging himself in, and you could see Neville just getting more and more aggravated with Noam Dar. And so it got to this point.
And right now, Neville's a guy who already looks like he started aggravated.
Yeah, like his natural setting is aggravated. So when that starts to elevate, you've stepped over about 4 or 5 lines.
Yeah.
And Neville is progressively more and more not going to deal with your shit. And so when Noam Dar's trying to tag out, Neville just leaves him.
He says, "I fuck not with you."
And Noam Dar cries, and then Cedric Alexander gets tagged in, and Cedric Alexander just destroys Noam Dar after it was about 3 or 4 moves.
Yep.
And despite the beating that Jack Gallagher took, his team still won the match.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Noam Dar is going to be very happy about this.
Probably not.
And he'll probably get in Neville's face either on Raw or 205 Live next week.
Potentially.
Probably will.
I don't think he's going to have as much of a problem with it as Alicia Fox will.
Oh.
I think Alicia Fox is the one that's going to get all uppity in Neville's face.
You think it's going to get to a point where Alicia Fox says so much crap that ends up putting Noam Dar in a match against Neville?
Potentially.
Oh shit. Alicia
I realized
Fox.
maybe why Jack Gallagher spent so much time in that match.
What was that?
It's because Swung gave him the shout out in the promo.
True.
Because he said, "My boy Jack Gallagher," in the promo. And so potentially that was Neville's way of being like, "Oh, is this your friend? Well, I'm going to beat the shit out of your friend the whole match."
Good call. Well, it worked. But you still
not the
lost.
guy you would give shitty advice to, Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, that's, well, choose wisely who you give your advice to, apparently. But with that said, that is it for Tuesday Night Live. Thanks for watching, guys.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Do all that stuff.
Smash all those buttons.
Smash them all, especially the subscribe button, the like button, the favorite button,
the little bell,
and the bell, because that alerts you. You know what else alerts you?
All the social media.
Social media. Follow us on all that stuff.
Tons of links down there, guys.
Yeah, you get updates to when we post videos, when we post stuff during pay-per-views, all kinds of stuff. When we just retweet stuff for the hell of it, we post stuff on the Facebook. We do it all the time. So check all that stuff out. You can follow him on Snapchat if you want. I'm sure he'll talk to you.
There's not much interesting going on there now, but that's because
nobody's following him.
Yeah.
If you follow him, fun stuff will happen.
If you follow, I don't know. I was trying to go with some sort of Field of Dreams thing, but everything else that went through my head sounded gross.
Kevin_Hawk WR.
Yeah.
Also, you can check out this review along with Indie News, Raw Review, and Midweek Wrap-Up in podcast form over on the SoundCloud. But you won't get reviews like our NXT TakeOver, our very long Royal Rumble ranty review-ish thing that we did. And because, February is starting now, we're going to be doing a top 5 for January. I didn't do one for December, so I'm going to do one for January. Because we had some pretty fun stuff happen leading up to the Rumble. So, be sure to check out stuff over there. Check out our extra videos over on Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
Reasonable with a W.
Like wrestling. Where we are going to be posting more content throughout the year. We want some suggestions, what types of videos you guys want to see. You can go check out what we've got so far and see if it inspires you to come up with an idea of something you want to see us do on a regular basis or every once in a while. Just let us know in comments. Let us know through social media. All that stuff. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Raw and SmackDown have gone by, and I didn't have to see Titus O'Neil or Mojo Rawley on their respective shows.
Yeah.
Not bad.
They're going to team up tomorrow on NXT.
Fuck Roman Reigns.
Peace.